So it's almost 5 minutes past the hour. And
I have exactly 7
Me too.
yeah.
So they're watching. 7:02. Yay.
Want us on for ice rating.
She's on the last, for the last two parties.
So welcome everybody to the December 2025 meeting of the El Sobrante Municipal Advisory Council. This is a council supports this Contra Costa County Board of Supervisors. Were appointed by the Board of Supervisors, and specifically we support District 1, which is John Joya's district, and the unincorporated city town of Belford. So we can start off with introductions. I'm Thomas Lang, chair. Maybe just quickly go.
Melinda McLean, member.
Tom Owens, member. Randy Lloyd, Sobrante MAC, New York.
Oh, Jim, like those, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Minky Morris. Terry Edlinger.
So can we start with?
We also have Jed.
I'm here.
Oh, Jed.
Yeah.
Yes, you had mentioned you'd be online. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jed Hart, also a member. And,
Happy to pledge.
okay, would you lead us in the pledge?
Let's do it. Oh, sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
as soon as possible. That's so
Okay,
no.
treasurer's,
Yeah.
Ronnie, treasurer's report.
Yep, but we're still sitting at $3,000.
Okay. Does anybody move to approve the meeting of the previous month's MAC with suggested changes incorporated?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All of
Aye.
okay. So we'll start off with our presentations. And as always, our county update. Ronnie?
Yes.
Pretty short update this month. I'm gonna come back with this one. So I guess I'll start with the shortest. We have a number of community committee and commission seats available. They serve as a really great way for residents to give back to the community. And so if you'd like the exhaustive list, you can reach out to me directly, and I'll also post my contact information on the newsletter that goes out this Friday. And the final update is a big thank you to everyone that showed up to Supervisor Joya / Senator Adeghine's holiday party. It was a huge hit. My voice is still recovering. If you cannot hear, we screamed our faces off and drank all of the wonderful non-alcoholic cider that we could. And also, well, there's also an additional update.
It was like a bonus sauna.
It was.
Outside and say,
Yeah, I had a turtleneck on and a vest, and it was a
like,
terrible show.
way too many clothes.
Tons of food, tons of laughter, really great time.
Packed house.
Yes. And so it was in support of Verde's elementary school's fundraiser. And so they actually, the goal was to raise 9,000. I believe the update this morning was they're about 12.5K. And so
Yeah.
so really great that we were able to help the kiddos out. And so
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's actually
That
the
makes
most
a
that
lot of
it's been
difference.
since I've been here. So really great. So that's gonna go really far. And that concludes.
Okay, so wonderful update.
Yeah.
Thank you. And any questions from the council or Ronnie?
I have one.
Yes.
So those ordinance go before the board of supervisors yet?
It has not. The most recent update I got from Grant Farrington was that they are working on getting a draft ordinance. And then that's gonna be going to the board. So once that does, you know, that could be setting up.
You'll keep us posted.
Oh, of course.
Because we want to all show up and go, yes, please.
We worked hard for this.
And do a victory lap around the board of supervisors
Yes.
chamber.
I would join.
So there's an agenda item that has to do with updates for future reference, so we can consider this our updates. We're waiting for it to come before the board.
Yeah.
After the form of the draft ordinance.
Mhm.
Okay, questions from the floor for Ronnie? Unless, any questions for Ronnie from the floor, from online? Okay, it's the Christmas questions doldrums. All right, so, do we have, a representative from the sheriff's office online? Don't seem to have
They've
one.
been very busy today in
Yeah.
various and sundry places, I noticed. While I was sitting in traffic on 80 forever. I think things are happening.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will calm down in January and we'll get our update.
Mhm.
But we does look
Michelle's
like,
here.
Michelle Reinhardt from the Contra Costa District is here. So Michelle, welcome.
Hello. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So updates from the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District. We have a new Confire website, same address, www.cccfpd.org. Residents can use the search bar in the top right-hand corner of the homepage to search many of our new and existing resources that we offer to residents, including the Contra Costa Wildfire Mitigation Program to reduce your fuels during these wetter months to prepare for the hotter and drier season. Next is a Zone Zero regulatory meeting that was held on December 8th. Zone Zero, as you know, that is the executive order that empowers the committee to evaluate the first 0 to 5 feet from any structure. The committee conducted tours in Berkeley, Santa Rosa, and in Pacific Palisades, and they evaluated the regulatory impacts, and really their focus is on education. The local control, also maintaining that local control in the authority having jurisdiction, or AHJ, and the support for inspectors. They're really focused on community action and shared responsibility. This can be achieved through things like Firewise, the Firewise USA program that's supported by the National Fire Protection Association, or also called NFPA. Their focus in those tours was really looking at invasive vegetation, the WUI space, or wildland urban interface, along with reinforcement of the idea of home hardening and defensible space, contributing to at least a 40% reduction of potential catastrophic loss. During the meeting, we did hear from Insurance Commissioner Lara's representative, who had 3 simple requests for the committee. First, ease of implementation. Second, risk reduction. And third, alignment at all levels. So I, as your county coordinator, attend these meetings on a regular basis, along with coordinating with other county coordinators to bring the state initiatives to the local level, and again, bring our successes and challenges from the local back up to the state. So it's been my pleasure doing that in 2025, and I look forward to further successes in 2026. With that, I'll take the board questions.
Okay, questions from the council for Michelle? Questions from the floor for Michelle Reinhardt? Okay, well, I just want to take a chance to thank you for all of the presentations you've given us this year and for keeping us up to date on the comings and goings at Fire Protection District. That is really, really important to us. And on behalf of the council, just wishing you a very happy holiday season to you and everybody else in the district. And may 2026 treat you, all of us, kindly.
Thank you, Chair Lang. I appreciate the board and all of the residents participating in these meetings on a monthly basis. It's very rewarding to me to have that interaction, and I hope for that to continue into 2026. Happy holidays to all.
Okay, thank you.
It doesn't look like we have the highway patrols. So we're supposed, those who aren't regular attendees here, we're supposed to have a regular presentation from the highway patrol. We have not one for probably a year
Or more.
or more. But I think that just has to do with them being just horrendously understaffed. So we appreciate what they do, and we hope that the staffing situation will be improved and we can see them back here again. Because we do have a lot of questions about traffic. So this takes us into our agenda item related to development plan, applications, variance report, building modification request, etc. And this is for county file number CDLP-02043. This is a project that aims to construct, I believe, four tiny homes on a lot just off of Lois Lane. I've never first seen Cabaretto before, but I think you can see it on the map.
Yes. To the west of Lois Lane. Yeah.
Okay. So do we have a representative from the project?
Yes, so, I'm the property owner
The property owner?
for Cabaret Lane, yes.
Could you maybe just briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, so
Derek actually prepared the presentation, if you would be interested in.
Oh, we'd love a presentation.
Oh, we love a presentation. Come on, bring it.
So we'd love you
We love
to take
pictures and
take us
everything.
through it.
And someone to ask questions of.
This always makes it better.
yeah,
Oh, wonderful. We can share with that.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
so then I'm sending out a letter to introduce the topic, you guys.
Here's some.
I don't know how honorable we are, but
Yes.
we're not elected. That makes us not honorable. We're just appointed.
We're not honorable yet not dishonorable.
We're neither dishonorable nor honorable. We're just appointed.
We're Schrodinger's
Officials.
So I'm gonna kind of speak through,
I can flip through
Okay.
the slides.
Oh,
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anna has been my assistant in putting this presentation together for you. She's also a professional architect who has helped me put together the schematic of my property there. That you see on that 11 by 17 sheet. And I'm gonna speak through the letter that I handed out verbally, kind of point by point. So my property is about 2 acres. It's right off of San Pablo Dam Road, just past the Sinclair gas station. The Dino Sinclair gas station. I would say about not more than 1,000 feet. Just before you get to Lois Lane and it turns right.
So you're west of the station.
yes.
East of the station.
West is at your back. Just like I said, about 1,000 yards.
Okay.
And the property starts at a setback from San Pablo Dam Road about 300 feet. I have a gate and then the property starts. The dimensions of the property, I know there's some satellite pictures floating around here, but it's a simple 200 by 400 rectangle with one single family home or a bedroom. And I've lived in El Sobrante for 37 years total. before I lived at this Colorado property, I lived over by Warren Cresby on Mitchell Way.
What's now Betty Reed Soskin?
Okay, so we changed the name.
Betty Reed Soskin, yeah, we're really proud of that, actually.
Okay, it's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, Crespi was a conquistador and Betty Reed Soskin is a living legend.
Cool. Okay. So homesteaded there until the year 2000, and then I moved over at this property on Cabaretto where I've been for 25 years. My roots are here, as you can tell with those durations, right? Raised my family here. Both my kids attended Salesian High School over here in Richmond. Then went on to the CSU system. I actually attended Contra Costa College when I went back to school as an adult. I was 42 years old, but I was determined to finish getting a degree, a full-fledged college degree. So I went through the gamut. I ended up transferring from CCC over to UC system and completed the requirements for undergraduate degree at the University of California, Berkeley. Subsequent to graduating from there, I was recruited actually by the city of Richmond when they met me down CompUSA teaching software classes. And they said, we want you. So I worked for the city of Richmond as an IT analyst for 10 years. I ended up being dedicated solely to the fire department to update them. Their data was on 3x5 file cards.
Not even floppy disk.
No, you got floppy disk. So I rolled up my sleeves. I got the system up on servers with appropriate software where they could run reports and track their employee rank, overtime hours, all this data, response times, the whole 10 yards. And loved that job. Then I ended up working for Contra Costa County itself when they rolled out the Affordable Care Initiative, otherwise known as Obamacare. They hired me over there to do kind of the same thing, train the employees on incoming calls to apply for healthcare through the Medi-Cal Healthcare Exchange. I worked there and then finally retired in 2014 from the county itself. Since then, I've dedicated my life, even before then, to this property over here. It's a jewel. This property over here is nothing less than an El Sobrante jewel. And I've treated it that way. I don't own it. I'm just a steward for that 2 acres. And here's a quick story I'll tell you. I'm coming home from work at the city of Richmond. This property had a big hole in the middle, huge, from years and years of silt being carried away when the runoff would come off of these mountains. The water would just layer by layer by layer take the surface dirt, and it left a big hole in the middle of this 2 acre property. There were car tires, barbed wire, broken trees in there when I moved in. I cleaned it up, but I still had the hole there. So I'm coming home from work one day, and they were building the high school at that time. Deanza, the new Deanza High School. There's a big mound of dirt sitting right on Valley View. And it stands like, I don't know, 10 feet tall. And I said, you know what, that dirt that's sitting right there would fit perfectly in that hole in my backyard. So I got out of my truck and I walked up to the first person. I said, is there a project manager on site? He says, yeah, that's me. I said, you know what? I can handle that dirt in my backyard, which is less than a mile, from Deanza over the hill to the Sinclair station, maybe a mile. And he said, you're kidding. He said, that would save us a lot of money, not having to truck it all the way to the dump. He said, show me this hole. So I took him over there and he said, you're right. Let's go to the county. let's go to the county, let's talk to grade instructor, and let's see if we can be allowed to take that dirt and put it over in my backyard. That's exactly what happened. And that's how my lot became to be perfectly flat. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, let's put this to use. And that's when I realized a good use for this would be to smartly position tiny homes in there where, if done right, thank you. There's the lot. Thank you, Anna.
Alrighty.
And here's what I'm here to do, right? We have three unique factors going on here. We have El Sobrante itself. We have a healthcare industry and other essential workers. And we have these very cost-effective tiny houses on wheels. Now, I'm going to get to the benefit of the wheel situation here in a few minutes. But the cost effectiveness, because people will say, well, just build a ADU or something like that, because these units are in this gray area. However, to build an ADU costs about $250,000, because ostensibly what you're doing is you're building a second house or a third house or a fourth house ground up, and they cost about $250,000. Where these units here, you can acquire them for anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 complete. And they conform to very strict safety ordinances or building or rules. They're mobile and they have a small impact on the environment. You can see the footprint there is non-intrusive to the environment around it. Okay. By placing that there, you have several benefits. You have ownership by the person who purchases it. You have low cost, portable, safe living dwellings. And that's why I've allowed to host 4 of them, and I'm asking for permission from the county through the use of the conditional use permit to allow them to exist there. And I'm asking for your help to get the county to accept this arrangement so that we can continue with the benefits that are built in. So who are the guests? Okay, so El Sobrante itself is uniquely positioned between urban lifestyles, i.e. San Francisco, Oakland, and other metropolitan areas like that, and rural areas like El Sobrante, Orinda, Moraga, and further out that way. Now, within those jurisdictions, we have quite a few healthcare organizations. And these professionals are called in to work at the various different healthcare organizations. We all know who they are: John Muir, Kaiser, Sutter Health. There's a plethora of very, very prominent healthcare organizations. I have decided to only allow or accept guests who are involved in this kind of workforce. So you can see that there's plenty of space. Because I was employed by the fire department, when I smartly position these units, I make allowances for heavy equipment to come in. i.e. trucks, engines, emergency vehicles. It's constructed like a cul-de-sac where you can come in, egress and leave and have a plethora of space to access emergency situations. So my guests are nurses, in-home caregivers, technicians, therapists, and other essential workers. Here you can see Maggie on the left there. She's holding up her recently acquired diploma from Samuel Merritt Graduate School. And that degree proves that she's been trained as an anesthesiologist, specifically in the pediatric ward. She has been living on my property for the last 2.5 years in pursuit of that degree. I'm so proud, not only of her, but of being able to assist in that endeavor. On the right is Cody and Sienna. Now, Cody works for Stanford Health down in Palo Alto. So he was commuting from Antioch to Palo Alto when he approached me and said, Mr. Jan, can I establish a tiny house residence in El Sobrante with you? It would save however many hours it is from Antioch to here, and then he drives from there to San Pablo, Palo Alto, sorry. Excuse me for that, Palo Alto. And that's his little 1.5-year-old daughter, so I'm assisting him because, again, I'm proud to assist him as a single dad.
Mr. Duggar, I'm terribly sorry to
part-time.
interrupt.
Sure,
I think we have a really good sense of your vision,
okay,
and I think all of it, we find it impressive and really
Right.
compelling.
okay.
So, I think
Move on.
you've addressed that need of your presentation. I think what would be really useful now is if your associate could take us through, aspects of the design so that we could ask questions. So our role, we aren't a technical review panel. What our role is to really look at the project and assess its impact on the community.
Okay.
And so we have, questions related, to parking and road access and other related issues that will occur to us once we hear the sort of the more detailed presentation on how things are laid out and how everything works. So I think maybe this would be a good time to transition to that. But thank you for filling in this background for us. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay.
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
I'm not involved in designing this project. I've been just assisting Derek because I work at a design build company and we're looking at and developing affordable housing. This is not like tiny homes on wheels is not what we are specializing at. We're designing the permanent housing, so multifamily with affordable units and things like that. But we've always seen this need of kind of transitional housing that can take people sometimes from the street and bring them at some point to the permanent housing. And the tiny houses on wheels is one of those typologies that actually allows for that. And as I've seen in other projects as well of similar nature, a lot of people will own these properties, the houses, buildings. They will save a lot of money on not renting the ADU or the apartment because the fees for like renting a piece of land on somebody's property is way lower than renting an ADU or something similar. And then they will consequently sell the tiny house on wheels to people who are in a situation where they were in the beginning of their path, and they will move on to more conventional, more kind of like traditional in our understanding housing.
But by all means, do address questions to me
Yes,
in
Yeah,
terms,
absolutely.
of the infrastructure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can address those.
but I've been, that's how I met Derek, once I learned about his project. And then I was just looking at how he set up everything more as a kind of like research, to understand how this property works, because I see a lot of potential in proposals like this, where you have a big piece of land and you have the owner who is willing to accept a limited number of people in the tiny houses and villas that do aesthetically look like houses, not a RV, so it doesn't bring this aesthetic of RV park into the residential neighborhood. And that allows for the residents like Derek to stay put on their properties and not be displaced because of the, as we all know, rising prices, including on housing and just taking care of your own property, essentially. And it's just, to me, it's very sad to see when people, especially when they retire and if they do not have like additional extra income, they have to move out like far away from the places where they raise their families, where they spend many years of their life, I believe, like as Derek said, taking care of the land, because they did not afford it anymore. And this model allows for citizens like Derek to continue thriving in the neighborhood that he's been living in for so many years. And just on the layout, I want to echo what Derek said. He did develop a pretty big open area. This is kind of like an older photo, I feel, but the last time I visited, he put a geofabric, and then he put rocks, pretty much like base rock, in all the areas surrounding the tiny houses and wells. So it is not like traditional paved road, but it is a very stable surface, and it is also fireproof. And yeah, there are also utilities for this residence that are accounted in its size and accessibility for this number of houses that are very low impact, both environmentally but also in the consumption of the resources.
So there are electrical connections and
There's
sewage
electrical-
connections to
correct.
each structure.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we might move in water as well.
Yes.
And so we might move, I think we probably have enough of a background to where we can start asking questions.
Yes.
So one question I have is, you refer to people as guests. Do you anticipate that if the county approves your project, they would then purchase these structures from you and then sublet the land? Is that the model?
Sublet the land, they own the models themselves.
They own the tiny house,
Yeah.
right?
the tiny
You're
house.
just allowing them to park on your property, right?
Correct.
And you own it? Because earlier you said you didn't own the property?
No,
He's being facetious.
You're the steward of it,
I'm the steward, but I own it.
but you do own, okay.
I
Yeah.
do own
That's
it.
good.
The question you have is,
Legally, that's helpful.
will they purchase these structures or just bring in structures?
They already own
They'll bring their own.
Yes,
Okay, but the location will be fixed because they're buying particular little sub parcels
That's where the
Access
utility
stuff.
connections are.
where the utility connections.
So that goes to my next question.
Yeah.
How many can you have on this in a reasonable fashion? Because I would imagine that the neighbors might care about how many are there, what's the density?
correct. So right now I have 4.
Mhm.
The infrastructure will support 6.
Okay, so a total of 6 plus your house.
Correct.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah. 26, 1.9, 2 acres total.
Yeah.
And can you describe the access to San Pablo Dam Road?
so the lane itself comes straight up. It's a paved lane. It's been repaved since I've been there.
And this is Cabaretta or the?
But this is
Oh,
Cabaretto.
Cabaretta.
This is Cabaretto, yes. And there are 4 homes on the lane. And then the lane enters my property. and that's the dead end. Or the opening gateway. Actually,
And so they.
So
could
near
either-
the end of the,
I'm at the end of
Okay.
Cabaret Way.
And so if they were coming out of your property and turning onto San Pablo Dam, they would turn left or right or cross traffic and turn left.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
And the county owns Cavalado, or is that?
Colorado is owned by the houses that you cross
Okay.
or pass as
so you have an
come up.
easement.
So yes, I have
You have
an
an
easement
easement.
for rights of all my friends, guests, family, future, past and present. Yes,
And it's graded, or it's rated for the weight of these tiny homes and the trucks hauling them.
yes. Mhm.
And you've had this in works for 2.5 years already. Is that what I heard?
Well, he's got 4 people living there already.
Yeah.
He's been doing it already.
Yes,
I was asking for the length of time.
for the length of time with this group of people, yes.
Oh, have you had other people there?
In the past, I did have friends and family
Okay.
who had access to putting a tiny house there, yes.
Okay, and you said there's limiting it to 6, is there a county regulation on how many tiny homes, mobile homes you can
County
have?
doesn't know how to regulate this. do they?
Exactly.
That there's
This
nothing
is
in
why
the
we're
book.
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
No, I'd already figured that
yeah,
out, that,
okay. Well,
that the
just
county went,
whether we were asking for an exception or,
they are asking for an exception, because there is no.
no land, you're asking for a new land use.
Yes, I am.
Well, I personally want to say that I think more of this is gonna come, and the county should get its act together to figure out how to permit this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And, that's just my 2 cents,
Mhm.
because I think we're gonna see more things like this. And they ought to think it through.
They should, and let me, if I may,
Yeah,
comment on that. 90% of people who have stayed here on this property for more than a year have left. When they leave, they transition into traditional housing, every single one of them.
mhm,
And the way it happens is that they save money because I'm not charging them $2,700 a month
mhm.
or more.
Well, you were just about to answer my next question, which is what do you charge them to park there, if anything?
Okay. I charge $900 a month. Now that will vary like a sliding scale. Right? What they're capable of. Cause I wanna, it's
Do
my,
they get water and power for that and internet, or is that extra?
no, they get everything except they pay additional for power.
Okay,
So I do an audit as they bring the units in. I write down the appliances that they are gonna be using.
got it.
And then I say, okay, you're gonna be using some heavy appliances, you're gonna pay 10% of the electric bill, or 7%.
Oh, okay.
Make it agreeable, make it reasonable, that's it, that's all. They don't pay anything else.
So what this would do, would be kind of formalize the relationships that you have now. And you would imagine, for example, that people would save some money, plus the value of their tiny home structure might increase. And they could leverage that to get into another.
And that's exactly what they're able to do. They sell these things in the secondhand market for 40,000, 50,000.
And then that helps them get a down payment for
Yeah,
actually
the money
getting
they
permanent
build,
housing.
It helps. That's why it's such a high rate of transition from this situation into traditional housing. Super high. 90.
Oh, go
If
ahead.
I may,
Joe?
yeah, I had 2 sort of quick questions. One regarding the electricity. How are they hooked into, like, what is the physical mechanism of hooking these tiny homes on wheels into
Okay,
the grid?
okay, so, let me introduce the answer that this way. There are local contractors here in El Sobrante for being here so long that I've made friends with. One of them is an electrician. He wires these apartment buildings in Oakland when they go in and redevelop
Mhm.
downtown. So I consult with the local contractors that I've made friends with. He's a professional electrician. And he's laid out what is needed I had a barn there, so there was underground utilities to begin with. For
Okay.
water, electrical, and so we expanded on that. He said, no, you're gonna need to upsize all of that. And with the code book that he pulled out, the distances to get to where the utilities are gonna be accessed, we put in the wiring in 6 different locations.
Okay, and a second question, and it's sort of a little more pressing to me, is given that these are essentially mobile homes, what is the wastewater situation? Like, how are you hooking 4 to 6 extra units into the sewer system?
Okay.
Because like my concern would be that this is not going into like a creek, the groundwater. We have is Harry there? Harry, I can see you, I think.
Yeah, Harry's here.
Um,
Mr. Silver is here.
so he would know a better way to ask the questions that I'm like trying to figure out how to say right now, but is how are you making sure that the wastewater is being dealt with in an environmentally acceptable manner?
Okay, and thank you for that question. The same way as the professionalism that came my way for the electrical, came my way for the proper way to do the sewer. When I moved into Cabaretto Lane, the local company Bill's Underground,
Yes.
yes, Bill's who came to me and said, the state of California, I'm not sure if it was the state or the county, is offering a rebate if you upgrade your sewer lateral from your house to their system.
Yep.
2,000 some. So are you in for that? So I said, yeah. So he dug the trench for a brand new sewer lateral to go to my house, 6-inch sewer lateral. So I said, Bill, I have a barn up there right now. Can you put a Y connection, same 6-inch Y connection, to the lateral that you're putting in for my house? And he said, yeah, now's a good time to do that. And that's exactly what he did. So that was installed by Bill's Underground. So.
And that services all 4 of the current tiny homes and the additional 2 you're thinking about?
That's correct.
So there are individual sublaterals to those.
That's correct.
That big lateral.
To that big lateral. And they were installed by plumbers, you know, they instructed me, you gotta do 4-inch, you gotta do ABS, and you have to have the slope 1.5 per foot. And that was all placed in the trench along with the electrical.
This was
Well,
all
not
permitted and inspected.
Absolutely.
No, it's not been put in and inspected. Now, I did submit for a permit for the electrical to be inspected, paid for it, everything. I have a copy of the permit here. But I didn't understand the permit system well enough. It's a little,
Seriously?
it's a little complicated.
I'm not sure anyone does.
No.
But I've had the system camera scoped by another local company, El Sobrante Sewer. Now, this is years it's been working fine. It's oversized for it we have, first of all.
I'm thinking we probably have the information to just start our discussion. Are there questions for Derek from the Harry?
Yes,
Derek, have you ever contacted West County Wastewater District?
no, I haven't.
So I would recommend that you do. Because we are the ones that grant permits for sewage. And it'll change your property tax bill because that's how we collect our sewage rates. So I think you need to go to them and they'll tell you whether they'll inspect and tell you whether your system is up to snuff.
Gotcha.
And if as Bill did, Bill would have gone to West County Wastewater.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
And so So what you had before you made the connections is probably fine. And so it's the laterals that come in from your tiny homes that would need to conform. And there's still the pipes program, which is what Bill turned you on to with the West County wastewater. So
Thank you.
I would recommend you contact them. And I think,
They have an online application.
yeah.
It's not nearly as onerous as some applications I've made.
But
Or is expensive.
But
Oh,
as
very
far as
expensive.
agencies go, we're small, so we could probably accommodate you faster than say PG.
Yeah, don't even talk about PG&E.
Sorry.
Or FF for that matter.
So-
A couple of questions.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so how tiny are these homes?
How tiny are they?
Yes, so they'll go from 150 up to 400 square feet.
That's pretty tiny.
And how many people do you expect to inhabit each unit?
Singles.
Singles,
Yeah.
and do you expect, how many cars per unit?
One.
One.
Mhm.
So,
And I see you've got places for
It's good.
parking.
so you were saying that these people are buying their own tiny home
Yes,
from you or
No, they bring,
from,
they
They're
contract
bringing it
in the world, they contract them to be built to their requests.
or buy them in the
Stock.
secondhand market.
Or buy it in the secondhand market. I can testify that they all have come to me brand new. Yeah, these are professionals, these are people, their profile is go-getters, right? They're going for degrees, they're going for medical jobs at high level, specialist level. So they go and they have them built. I want one that's this many square feet, I want this kind of countertop. And that kind of thing, and then they have paid for them. I look at them, the first thing I say before I say, send me a picture of you, I say, send me a picture of your tiny house. I'm not accepting old, outdated, to be respectful to them. And to be respectful to the property and so on and so forth, so I get that, I get updated, modern structures.
so you see it all as transitional kind of thing because you don't think any of these people just want to live there permanently?
Probably some of them might want to, but that's a good question. I
think it'd
have
be like a year lease. or
a year,
something?
yeah, I give everybody a year renewable year by year
Mhm.
based on everything, all the data. I'll play the Federal Reserve position. Current data, right? How we get along, how the market. If it's acceptable, and I see it, like you stated, more and more. Acceptance, because it's so practical, it's so cost effective, it's environmentally soft on the,
Excuse me, are there further questions from? Some questions, Chris?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing is, you're talking about the lower right-hand corner, these four little units, and some seem to have wheels on them, like those.
Yeah, those are the units.
And if they keep, are you thinking of adding two more, where would those end up?
let's see the diagram, I can tell.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
The current approval is for 4, correct?
That's correct,
That's what he's at.
So, yeah, and then that's come back for 6.
right. So the, this would go here. And then
Between the-
where the barn is,
Okay,
yeah. You can see the
So-
roof of the barn.
sorry. So one would go here and one would go here because the barn is kind of like collapsed, so.
So I think we probably have enough information to have a discussion regarding, just giving our endorsement to this project. I'm supportive of it. I think, the concept you laid out is, something that's timely and,
Thank you. really is.
beneficial.
Thank you. Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
Has anybody on the committee gone and seen the property? No,
no,
just a piece of paper.
it's just newspaper.
And the slides.
Yeah, so that's why.
I would be in support as long as everything gets inspected.
Well, I think that's out of our control,
Yeah.
Well, that's what we can recommend.
right?
Well, I think what we can recommend is that they create a category like this.
Yeah.
This is the other problem. That's why it's helpful for us. Anyway, I would support that as well. I'm for it. I think we're gonna see more tiny home developments coming and the county needs to catch up.
It's spreading throughout the state.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I'll do is, if the council is willing to go along with it, write the engineer an email that gives support to the project contingent on satisfying all regulatory aspects that come up.
I'll make the motion for that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm not opposed, but I'm not, for me, I'm visual, so I always have to see things. Piece of paper is fine. I don't have any problems with what I see. But I haven't seen anything with a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the neighbors
Did you
have
look at
no
the
problems
Google,
with
did you
it.
look at the Google slide that were
No, I saw the slides.
Okay.
Yeah, not
And
that.
the
black, but-
neighbors are,
I assume so. My neighbor to my western border is one of my best friends at this point. Him and his daughter, they have two on their property. Mhm.
Now you're creating trouble for me.
So is there anybody on the council who objects to this project? No.
No.
So I'll write a letter of support to the engineer who is mentioned on the cover sheet, indicating that we support the project contingent on satisfaction of all the county's requirements.
I would recommend the county work up something.
And will incorporate Linda's suggestion that the county create a category for projects with small homes.
Thank you.
Can I just add with small homes on the bills or like mobile small homes? Because I feel like we do have a pretty good set of regulations for the ADUs that are on the foundation.
Right.
They might be like as tiny as the tiny houses on wheels, or they can go as big as what is like 1600. It's like a proper.
Beautiful house.
Yes.
This tiny home on wheel thing is somewhere between a trailer and an ADU.
Yes.
And they need to tease that out.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it has a lot of aspects of a private residence.
Like it might not be a tiny home if it's 1,200 square feet or more.
Right.
Like, how big does it qualify?
Yeah,
Just because you can put it on wheels doesn't make it a tiny home.
that is true. Yeah, at some point it becomes a mobile home, but
I got a cousin who's got herself a tractor trailer. That's her trailer, and I'm telling you, that's way bigger than 1,200 square feet.
So we really appreciate your coming in and spending the time to explain your project.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, so we can now move to the section on public comment on any item under the jurisdiction of this council, but not on the agenda. Gordon?
So I have two items. The first is, as many of you know, I'm a new business owner of PJ's. And my next comment is not a surprise to any of you, but over the last 10 months, I've sat both in the office of the building I have next door and PJ's, and the traffic between Hillcrest and El Portal is on average 60 miles plus.
Yep.
Per hour.
Between Hillcrest and I believe that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, Center for Elder Independence opened up next door. They have 60 employees. I have 20 employees. I've rented out the salon. They have 3 employees. And people are going back and forth across the street every day. And it's dangerous, extraordinarily dangerous. I go across the street. I don't move that fast and it's dangerous. My request, and I brought this up to Ronnie, is to consider a crosswalk halfway between El Patal and Hillcrest in the same manner that there is currently crosswalk between Hillcrest and Aiken. It's about the same distance. I'm not advocating a stoplight, but I'm advocating a crosswalk with a flashing light when you hit the button to cross the street.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a couple of folks who have studied this issue before, and I understand one of the issues is with the traffic surveys, there's a concern that if they do a traffic survey, that they'll raise the speed limit from 25 miles per hour to a higher rate of speed based on the average speed that's going down that street. But even if the speed limit were increased to 35 miles an hour, like I said, the average speed down that street is 60 miles an hour. We all know, we just talked about the CHP is not able to attend the meetings because of they're understaffed. And they are the primary enforcer of speed on that stretch of road. So,
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Nobody else does it.
Correct. So they are the enforcer of speed on that road, so they're not able to enforce it because they're undermanned. So a visual crosswalk with a flashing light, I believe would be a great deterrent to slow traffic down on that stretch of road. I know there's a lot of components that go into making that happen, but I'm starting here. So.
Well, like the noise ordinance, we started with, no, you can't do that.
I mean, I would have no objection to that. I live in that area.
100%.
Yeah.
You've got my support.
You got my support and I'll go to any meeting anywhere.
There's precedent because we already have the crosswalk that's between the Rancho and Callis. And if you compare the distance between Hillcrest and Apian versus Hillcrest and Upper Town.
It's perfect. It makes total sense. Ronnie, do you know if the 2025 now, I think they call it 2030 plan included an extra crosswalk there? Because I remember back during that planning period, we added a lot more crosswalk kind of things into lots of things for our desire. And then we were told, sure, and we have no money. So do you know if one was, I don't remember.
Off the top of my head, no. But I can always follow back up with Fernando or Monique.
We already said we wanted that, then we could fight for the money.
Where is education? So, again, I think it comes down to the study. So, but I'm suggesting somewhere about halfway between El Patal and Hillcrest.
Which would be proportional to the distance between
Hillcrest and
Appian.
Anything, correct.
Yeah.
So and the whole idea, because it's a long stretch of road currently, the traffic at that stretch is so fast because they have time to ramp up. So if we stop them halfway through, you have to stop, hit the button, and stop the crosswalk with a flashing light operates the same way as a stop sign.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, I drive that every day and, what happens is you see somebody is stopping. And I always, if I'm in the other lane, I stop.
Right.
If I see the car next to me is stopped, but other people just blow right through. And
I have
such an
videos,
accident waiting to
I
happen.
have videos of me crossing with an orange vest and a stop sign
Yeah.
across that road.
And they try to run you down.
And then they stopped. So
It's insane.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah.
We now have more critical mass at that section with the employees, because they have 60 employees, like I said, I have 20. So you have more critical mass of people going back and forth across that street. So at some point, it's not a matter of if, but when, that we're going to have fatality or injury.
Well, it's like my congregant whose husband and dog were killed at Fram Way.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was because somebody stopped and then the other person didn't stop, raced around, and they didn't see him and then mowed down an old man and a dog and killed them both.
So on that note, what I'd like to see. So, do we have a motion
I would like to move.
Okay. A
I'll
motion
second
to write just a letter of support for Lorna's idea. I'll write something to John, copy to
That
Ron.
we very much would like to see a
it.
crosswalk across San Pablo Dam Road
So
between El Portal and Hillcrest.
we have a motion and a second.
Specifically though, with the lights.
With the
What is
flashing
like,
light.
if it's got the Hollywood.
Flashing light
Line
crosswalk.
right through those.
Correct.
Okay, stuff.
It's gotta have, the flashing
So,
light acts the same way as the stop sign.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Lorna. A great idea, and appreciate your coming in and sharing that with us.
And then, so I said I had two items. The second one, probably nothing you guys have jurisdiction over, but again, just a matter of awareness. You know, working with the local restaurateurs in our area. You know, we have an ongoing issue with pop-ups. So I have a pop-up across the street from my property. The line is 20 people deep at any given day. They've been fined multiple times by environmental health, up to $10,000. And I think the issue is there's no bank account to go after, so they just keep popping up. So,
Yeah.
Again, asking for assistance, I don't know what that, you know, it's been brought up several times with the Elsinore Chamber of Commerce. Maybe Ronnie, I don't know if you have any bright ideas, but, we suddenly have pizza pop up here by, right down the street, the Good Table.
Yep.
So, again, for all of us who pay permit fees to get inspected.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And have flipping hoods.
Yeah.
So,
There's gotta be some, recourse.
so. I've been,
Didn't we have that on before?
yeah, that's come up multiple
That's-
times.
yeah, that first thing.
I've had multiple emails back and forth with county health and, you know, the supervisor's office.
Didn't the sheriff say that the taco place had been in the process of being permitted?
It's not permitted.
It's not permitted. The sheriff said that they said that they were in the process, but they're not. They lied to the sheriff.
I know for a fact when my environmental health inspector came and she looked across, she says, we have fined them multiple times, we have no authority to enforce.
So, you know, and you go by and there's just no. There's just no control. I mean, you just like you see the fire just shooting up to the sky at night. And they're using the property of
JV Liquors.
JV Liquors. You know, I don't know if they have any permission or they're paying anything to it, they're just using it. It's, go ahead, Rick.
I'd like to say that, you know, that's a place to start,
It
because
was
I had
Becky
a
Liquor.
couple of them on the property that I leased. And I just pulled in and I walked up and I said, "What you guys up to?" "Oh, cooking, can I get you something?" I said, "No, but, and I walked up behind the truck of one of them, they're all, "I need you to step around to the front." I go, "I don't think so." I said, "No, I need you to step around to the front if you're gonna order." I said, "I'm gonna need you to pack all your stuff and get out of here because you're on my property."
Right.
And they said, "Oh, shit." And then they packed all their stuff and they left. So if you know the property owner, that's the first place to check.
That's who's
If-
gonna
if-
evict them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if the property owners are allowing it, then that's a whole
Go
other
after them.
story in itself, you know? If they're making extra money for these people popping up on their properties, that's a whole nother subject in itself, but,
I happen to know the guy that owns JV Liquor. I'd be happy to go in and talk to him. My guess is that they're doing it on the sidewalk and has absolutely nothing to do with.
Well, they
his
park
business.
on his
So they
lot.
park on his lot.
Their vehicles are on there.
I will go and talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And find out if he is agreeing or if it's just something he's tolerating or.
From a public ordinance standpoint, since they block the sidewalk, there's no access to be able to pass them by if you're in a wheelchair or anything else. Is there any avenue to address it from that standpoint?
I don't see why you can't call the county, why you can't call the sheriffs. Cause if they're blocking a sidewalk, I know if I do a protest and block a sidewalk, they could show up.
So I've had
And this is like a
Probably
real
15.
blockage.
15 emails back and forth
Oh,
between
people are upset.
Supervisor Joya's office and county health about this. That we see it all the time, and it's really frustrating because I'm also looking at it from the point of like uncontrolled disease spread, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all great until the second somebody gets food poisoning and God forbid, you know.
Or they start a fire, because really, the way they don't have any mosquito nets, they're not, you know, we operate as a farm market. I know what it has to look like when you cook out outside. They're not doing that. They are not legal, and obviously environmental health doesn't have the ability to stop them, but the sheriff could.
So I don't think this needs a motion. I'm just going to write another letter. And I'll copy, I have the contact at county health. And I'll bring up,
Terry's gonna talk to JV.
Terry will talk to JV.
Because if property owners would evict them, that would work.
Yeah, and I'll,
That would work.
It did work.
I think this, now.
They set up my work, it's
I think
going
we
real
can-
fast.
Yeah, I think we can table this now and move on, but I think that,
Yes.
you know,
thanks.
the fact that we discussed it in the MAC, you know, should give some further urgency to this.
And it
Yeah.
isn't our first discussion.
No, this is not
Yeah,
the first time.
yeah, I've been in communication with county health as well. The most recent update that I received was that they're following up with county council to see if there's some
That was months ago.
yeah, but that was the most recent update that I received.
Months
So
ago,
yeah,
I guess
but
the last resort is if there's no account to attach to the fines.
They're gonna grab it and take the equipment.
Equipment, yeah.
So with my email's on the county website. If you find out the property owners and you don't wanna talk to them yourself, email me their name and contact number and I'll go take care of it.
Well, it sounds like Terry's gonna have that first
Which is
conversation.
maybe, yeah.
So before doing anything, wait to hear back from you.
Yeah, yeah.
You can shoot me an email.
Okay, I'll talk to him in the morning.
All right, so
And JV, I mean, Terry, if you decide you need backup, Randy's voluntary.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
He's the muscle in the suit.
Although,
They'd be more serious.
good all by herself.
So I think we had a good discussion on this. We know how to move forward. Are there any other public comments? Not here and,
Yes, my name is Cynthia Ainsworth. Was here at your last meeting. And I'm a new resident on Pleasant Drive in Sobrante. And this last month, I've been furiously emailing Ronnie. And he's been very helpful in supplying information about traffic studies that have been done. I'm still advocating for a speed hump and for a weight limit to be put on that road. I know that Ronnie sent me some information that there's 2,600 cars that travel that road every day.
Jesus.
That go from 30 to 35 miles per hour, and I run on a curve where it's 15. My neighbor next door to me, they had a car, you know, misjudged the turn, and their car landed right in their front yard. They have a 3-year-old, heaven forbid somebody were to get hurt. I've just being there, I've had 3 or 4 near misses where somebody's coming and speeding around me and almost caused an accident. So I know also with the weight limit, Ronnie provided me the information that 3% of the vehicles that are on that road are, you know, large trucks. And while I appreciate that figure, I find it irrelevant because that road was not built for large vehicles towing paving equipment as they speed up this road past my house. God forbid that one of those pieces of equipment got loose from one of those trucks and came rolling right into my house, and our bedrooms are right on that road. Kill us in our sleep, or my grandchildren are in front of the house and they're killed. So I don't want someone to be hurt or killed before something is done. I realize that there are problems with speed humps and with weight restriction, but I'm not going anywhere, and I'm gonna keep working on this till we find a resolution. Everybody I've spoken with on the road has worked tirelessly on this and are tired of working on it. And so I'm kind of the fresh voice, the fresh person on the street. And I'm motivated. I'm former academia, so I know how to talk and write and present, and I'm not going anywhere. So anyway, I would like support from this council at some point. Once we have committee come up with a solution, I'm hoping that speed humps and weight restrictions will still be something that will be useful. La Paloma has a weight limit, so Ronnie sent me some great links. I'm gonna look and see what they did to get the weight restriction. That would be one place to start, and then look at those speeders.
So
I can tell you what La Paloma did is they had a trench open up. You collapsed the pipe. That's what caused the weight restriction on it.
Okay.
So
So,
I have a suggestion for you, which is when you and your neighbors have, done the due diligence and you've got your, information collated, have a neighborhood group show up here, because that's basically what, has gotten things the ball rolling on various issues here. We get a group of concerned neighbors. Often it can be part of the agenda, a presentation can be part of the agenda, right, Ronnie?
And we drag all the
And
county
then
people out here to listen to you.
And then we have the county out here. And then what we can do is just based on that community input, we can write a letter of recommendation to the county. And that's how it's, we've helped with the, we got the ball rolling on county noise ordinance.
And we got
And-
Clark Road paved. That was,
accepted.
people have been trying to do that for 25 years.
Yeah, and when people had that fire issue, there was the neighborhood in Mifflin Court.
Yeah.
They had basically a burned down home that was
Homeless people
being
kept setting on
taken
fire,
over
yeah.
by the homeless, and it was a fire risk. I think we helped get the county to act quickly on that.
Well, they also got lucky that the fire chief was here that night.
Right, but I mean, yeah, well, we can help with this.
I'm already starting to form a coalition,
So
so
that's the best thing, then
we'll come together.
show up in force.
And can I just ask for an update on the deer? Did you get it removed yet?
Luckily, that's not the problem.
Okay.
That was-
Well, I figured.
that was me. Yeah, with the deer.
Yeah, two now. One is if you're forming a coalition, you're gonna do the work about where the speed bump should be located there on Pebble Drive. Can you get with your neighbors and then figure out where you want to place them strategically throughout all of Pebble, so that we're not having you come and just do the ones by your house? And then we gotta get with the next group of people that want one just 3 houses down by their house, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Put something together that makes sense, that's professionally presentable, when you bring it to us for the whole street, so that if we are going to the county about this, it can take care of the whole issue,
So-
at one time.
Great.
The more well formulated, the better. More likelihood.
And I will state that the fire marshal's not, or the fire department's not gonna like speed bumps. They, they influence the trucks drive too.
Yeah, well, they're under streets in El Sobrante that has
So,
speed bumps.
and something, that'll at least get something going.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Second thing is for him, I went and talked to the property owner where the deer was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's taken care
Oh, okay, good. You found the property owner.
of. I sure did.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, any,
I think Chris has got
So,
something.
there's, oh,
No, but you had something else.
no, so Chris and I were picking up litter. Near
Really?
the Hinge Athletic Club. And across the street there, and down a block, there appears to be an abandoned home that's starting to appear.
Oh, yeah, that place is awful.
where is this?
I don't know, I have pictures of it that I took, and they're starting to, it's across the street from Lakebridge and down about a block
Yeah.
towards Astor Ranch. And it looks abandoned, and there's starting to be an accumulation of dumps or.
Is it time for a call for code enforcement, Ronnie?
So what do we, I guess I could
You tell
find
Ronnie
the
to call
ad- I'll try to find the address out and
We
then,
should.
This is helpful, but Ronnie can call code enforcement.
oh, okay.
If it looks nasty, he can do that.
It's pretty nasty looking. Yeah, it looks like it's falling apart and.
Tom brings up a good point about is it, find out if it's in Richmond City,
Okay.
and let's see, because there's fingers in there. The Richmond City limits are also, they're a
Okay.
big difference, yeah.
How do I find that?
If
Well,
you
what
address,
is the address?
What's
And
it-
what you
the
can-
address will tell
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
Hi.
If you can figure out an address. It's
Yeah.
not always that easy.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I'm Chris Conrad. I'd like to follow up on what Nikki was talking about at the previous meeting, which is that Supervisor Nate Miley of District 4 of Alameda County is put together a model ordinance for controlling illegal dumping. I don't think it covers littering, but illegal dumping. And so I would like, first off, to ask Ronnie if we could have our county supervisor, Mr. Joya, contact him to work with him on this, because I think we need to deal with the issue on a regional basis, and so does Miley, and we've spoken about this before. And this model ordinance contains a lot of the things that we've discussed here. And so I was also wondering if the ESMAC could get a copy of this for you to review and discuss whether you could encourage the county to adopt it. And also, the idea is to get a state bill that will have this as a statewide approach to illegal dumping. And so, that's what I'd like to, if we could have you look at it and make a reference, but also if the county supervisor office could just be in direct contact with him. And then there's a meeting coming up. When is that meeting?
The statewide meeting,
In March.
April 30th and May 1st.
And so perhaps somebody from the ESMAC, Nikki will probably.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Anybody else might want to be there.
Ronnie, wasn't there a task force on dumping?
Yeah.
The county,
There is, yes.
that task force needs this ordinance to look at, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
yes.
Because it's more than just us. If the task force goes on the county wide to look at it, then we have a better shot of getting it done.
So maybe if we can, Ronnie, if you're able to get hold of this ordinance.
I know.
Sounds
Draft
like
ordinance,
Chris
maybe
can
that's
get it for
something
you.
that we can,
Restaurant.
Feed
discuss,
into that process.
discuss at our meeting.
Yeah.
What was, you said District 4?
Yes.
Alameda District 4, Nate Miley.
So are there any further, open?
Hi, my name is Jason Warchek. I'm a resident in El Sobrante. I also lease a business that's right at 435 Valley View Road. I'm here tonight because I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time. I know I'm the last one. But there is I believe it's called a stealth cell tower site on that location there. So they have multiple different carrier antennas there. And I know that the land use permit is up for renewal. This will be the third time. I believe the first time was in 1996 when they initially got the approval. And since I've leased that place, I went through and I kind of looked at the history of the land use permit and then the different companies that have had their equipment there. I've noticed some discrepancies that I believe I found in regards to the compliance requirements of that land use permit. And also just some things about the actual FCC limits in with their studies and whatnot. So I'm requesting some time at a future meeting where I could do a presentation. It's pretty intricate to kind of get into the nitty gritty and the whole history of everything. But I'd like to kind of explain that to the council so they can kind of understand how the telecom company had operated. When they first set the permits back in 1996, everything was like 2G. It was just coming out. It wasn't that powerful. Throughout all the upgrades and not having the required compliance certificates done after the upgrade, slowly the powers have turned up where the last one, it said it's over 5,039% of the legal limit. So it's 500 times more within 86 feet, 84 feet, 73 feet, and 70 feet of each direction of the antenna at the level that it is up top. So now granted, when it gets all the way down to the sidewalk of the adjacent areas, it gets down a lot more. But I'm specifically talking about myself, and I have other business owners across the street where our businesses are in between the tower and the sidewalk. So they're in that direct path of possible higher levels than the sidewalk is.
What happens?
Can I ask a question, Jason? Have you talked to the building owner?
I have, he's aware of the sites.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And does he have an opinion about it?
He says that all the compliance has gone through the county and that everything is hunky dory as far as they're concerned.
He's just cashing their checks. right?
So what happens when it gets that powerful? It gets that high.
Well, so there's a lot of studies that are coming out lately. You know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but these studies say that when these EMFs affect our body, they cause oxidative stress, which leads to early cell death. It could lead to cancer, it could lead to different types of things. The FCC set a limit. I don't have my notes all in front of me, but when the FCC set the limit, it was back in the 1990s or the early 2000s as far as what the acceptable level was. And now with the equipment we have today, we're starting to broadcast on higher power, higher than that limit is. And so now we're running into that. It's been slowly upgraded throughout the past 25 years. And that's what I want to show the council in that record of, well, we're supposed to have an upgrade here with a review. We didn't, you know, it just happened to go through because of lack of staffing and.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the, I mean, as we get more electronicized and more things advance in artificial intelligence and everything else, more of that's gonna happen. You know, that's gonna go up and up and up and up and up forever until somebody explodes somewhere or kills a mass of people, then they'll do something. Because right now, that's gonna be a difficult one to fight. Because you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're right at what they're doing, because they don't got the permits to do it the way they're doing it. So they're raising it to limits that were never approved, probably, right? Because of electronic. I'm trying to think what the argument is to stop it.
So I think what we could do as a committee is we're not qualified to
No.
evaluate health risks.
That's what I'm saying,
like
yeah.
that, yeah. But so, you know, probably coming and talking about health risks or the history of the project wouldn't necessarily be helpful for moving this forward. But what we could do is, you know, we could reach out to, I can reach out to Ronnie and through Ronnie to John Joya, and we could find out, you know, what is and isn't in compliance with this site. And then that can trigger an investigation.
Well, we can ask for compliance review.
Yeah, so that's more, we can ask for a compliance review. So I think that's what we can do practically in this council.
Sure. Yeah, and that's kind of what I put together, you know, that's what I'd like to present as kind of my own compliance review and just kind of point out
That's
some
probably-
specific things.
It's probably not out of our, that's probably not in our purview to.
I invited Jason here because I felt like what he's talking about, very few of us know anything about. And that's the thing I want people to understand is that there are things going on that we don't have any awareness of whatsoever. And I believe that Jason is a really good resource for at least getting us educated in that information so that we can start doing some of our own research. That's it.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it's very important that we hear this information, that it's something we're not used to hearing. It's something we're not plugged into, but it's something that is going to affect us.
I would say we are plugged in.
Well, I mean, plugged into as far as the information about what it, you know, what the effects and what, I mean, I just think it's valuable information that we don't actually have as a general, as a council, but.
I would agree, and the, I was asking,
I wouldn't
why don't
mind
you have the-
Some informational
giving them
presentation.
15-20 minutes on a future meeting.
So once you have the information, the question is it because you just want more information?
Well,
You know,
Well, that's what I'm
it's
saying,
it's
just an
something we should
informational
do.
thing at this point.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I don't mind that. Basically, it's an educational thing. We can get educated about it, but I have no way of interpreting it. You know, and whether or not that's bad, good, or does it hurt people, does it not hurt people? And you know, it's getting, like I said, I believe that it's getting worse every single day because we could, you know, I mean, Apple's got one whole city mile building doing the only thing working in all those buildings on that city mile are artificial intelligence. That's all they work on, those people in there. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's gonna be worse than that. But if we had something, we could prove anywhere in the world that it got high and people died from it, or they got ill from it, that would be wonderful. Not because, not. I think people are offering me that, it would be wonderful if they did that.
Well
There is
done.
some-
Die.
Let
Could I speak to that? So, and I don't really want to necessarily get into the health benefits and harms or anything like that thereof. What I just kind of want to get into in the presentation is, the land use permit itself and the requirements from the land use permits that weren't complied throughout.
And what we'll try and do is have somebody from the county who can speak to
That.
either here or online.
Mhm.
So can we
Yeah.
put that on next month's agenda?
Yeah, so if not next month, we can't handle it next month, the month after.
Because there is, I know the CDLP 25-02031 is up for a shot clock from the FCC for January 18th.
Well, but the FCC is not our friend anymore at all.
No.
Mhm.
I think we're better off talking to the county folks, and just figuring out, do they comply with the law as it is?
Right. I guess what I'm saying is
That's
that
good to know though, because the FCC is likely to do something really truly horrible on January 18th. Somebody's gonna die.
Okay, do we have any further public comments? Randy?
I'm just curious, what are we trying to accomplish with this? Are we trying to accomplish having it shut down, having it moved? Or are you just wanting to educate people on the health hazards of what's going on? What's the end game here that you're looking for?
so the end game is to first identify if they're operating within compliance of their own permit.
Okay.
And then if that happens, according to the most recent study that they released in 2023, there's areas of public access that are over the legal limit of the FCC. And if that area is over the legal limit, that's a stairwell, that poses my business, it poses another business below me, an adjacent building. If those areas are over the limit, I know that the telecom companies can do things to physically mitigate those signals inside the places. And it's in the FCC rules that they should be held responsible to keep people from public harm's way. And so I would just want that those areas be mitigated for the public safety.
So that could be assessed.
That's fair.
That's basically a compliance and safety assessment.
Mhm.
All right, I think that.
Thanks for
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Okay, under further,
I do hope we can't put it on January, just because if the FCC is probably going to gut the regulations on the 18th, which I don't know, given how this administration's rolling, I think there's a good chance maybe we should do it before that happens. Although California doesn't always follow suit.
No.
Thank God.
focus on the county.
Yeah.
So do we have any further public?
I was just gonna say that January 18th, that's for the application permit for 435 Valley View for the renewal. That's their deadline according to getting it within, if it doesn't go through by the 18th, they'll have to redo another application permit.
So,
that is.
So that's one in
Think
regards
we
to
could
my
wrangle
address.
somebody who could speak to this from the county.
From
compliance?
conservation and development.
Yes, we can always reach out. Yeah.
I remember we had somebody from the
'Cause we
county,
would-
when we had that other cell phone tower behind the Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
There was somebody from the county who does cell phone towers. Who was an expert on that, who was actually very entertaining.
So do we have,
Good speaker.
do we have further open agenda comments? Okay.
Well, okay, just on that, I think it'd be good to find out what the county's doing to keep current with these developments he's talking about, the expansions and so forth.
That would be part of this complaint.
Yeah.
Okay, no further questions? No further open comment?
I have open comment. I just want to say that I go to subcommissions and other places as well. I'm just going to say that this is like the most cordial and fun. I've been so thank you for being so open to the public and welcoming.
Half of us went to 2 parties before we came here.
That's the secret again.
Thank you for coming and presenting your project. Okay, so if we don't have any further public comments, the next item is information items. So do we have any of the MAC members who have information items to talk about?
Linda.
Grand opening on the 20th, 12 noon at the big table, and that same evening at 5 p.m. will be our holiday night market with approved vendors, outdoor vendors who have permits and everything. The nursery, everybody's been wanting to know when the nursery was going to open.
And no grease fires.
There will be no,
To the sky.
God, I hope not.
No.
There will be, the nursery is right now slated to open on the 18th. Just in time for the grand opening, but don't hold me to it because they are still trying to get ready. Other than that, I would encourage everybody to come. We now have a new art exhibit up by Sherry Arias DeBoer. She is an artist, a local artist of Japanese descent. Harold DeBoer, many of you know, he did a lot of our wood. Her art in part deals with her family's experience of the Japanese internment. And it is really moving. It's really beautiful, and it is now up in our marketplace. So all of that can be seen on the 20th. And you know, life is good. Come have some coffee at the good table.
What time is it?
The grand opening is at 12 noon. We're gonna cut so many ribbons that it's gonna look like confetti town. Between the shed, they're having their second anniversary, the nursery, which will just be open, that Good Table Cafe, and the Good Table United Church of Christ. All four are gonna cut ribbons. All the chambers of commerce are coming. Everybody's gonna come. It's gonna be very fun.
I'm pro party, but confetti.
And on that note.
That's my version of the sad song.
Yeah.
Okay. Other information items? That was a great information item.
Thank you.
Other information items by MAC members? Subcommittee report.
Okay, before you go to that grand opening, come to the library at 10 o'clock and help us pick up litter around town for our third Saturday cleanups. And if you'd like a postcard, we got it. And we always could use volunteers. We're doing a good job of trying to maintain it, and it takes monthly cleanups to do it, to get a handle on the litter, to stay on top of it, to get a handle on the litter issue. So it'll be our last litter cleanup for the year, is on the 20th at 10 o'clock. I think we'll try to end it early, like at 11:30. I for one want to go there to the grand.
And I knew that was a problem, but it's like I had too many things to juggle to try to make that work. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I actually argued for 1 o'clock just to make it easier for the green
yeah,
team.
that would've been good.
And people said, no, we can't have everyone.
We'll do our best to do that. So, please join us. We have equipment and everything you need to pick up litter.
Safely pick up litter.
To safely do it. And I'd like to set up a subcommittee meeting maybe in January. And I'm thinking maybe either the 20th or the 27th on a Tuesday evening. Think that's doable?
Yeah, just reach out to me and we can set up.
Okay. I'll reach out to people I know, see if one gets better than the other. And also if the library room, this room, is available for that day. So other than that, everybody keep El Sobrante clean and beautiful, please. Do your part.
So in terms of agenda items, let's see if we can get somebody. Jason.
Yeah.
So keep in touch with Ronnie regarding being on the next, possibly being on the next agenda. Let's see if we can wrangle somebody from conservation and development or relevant authority to discuss a compliance review of this facility. And
If
any
you can give that
potential
permit number to
failures,
Ronnie, he might be able
yeah,
to
any
put
potential
that in.
failures in process that might have occurred. Further agenda items?
About an agenda item. I don't even know if this is appropriate, so I'm gonna ask. Indivisible asked me if we could put them on the agenda for next month, hopefully, just so that they could come and give a presentation about what exactly Indivisible is and what we're doing. Cheryl Mayer and Chris Mathias are, we had a meeting the other day and they would both speak for Indivisible, but they don't even know if it's appropriate because it's not really a political party, but you know what
Yeah.
Indivisible is. So they wouldn't be talking about candidates or anything like that. They just want to explain what Indivisible is and how maybe other people could get plugged into it.
So I'd like to hear back from Supervisor. Short.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. Yes, well, I'll follow up with John about that. Yeah.
So the answer is I don't know.
I thought it was sort of iffy. That's the reason I thought I'd ask, but
And they thought so too.
yeah.
And as long as we're mentioning that, and one information item is that every Friday, between 4 and 5, there's a protest there sponsored by Indivisible at this intersection of Appian Way and San Pablo Dam Road. To have a peaceful protest, sign wave, horn honking, and all that kind of fun stuff to keep our spirits up. So please join us, be interested.
I'll make a last minute announcement. Dude, this Saturday, I had a guy approach me who does Irish music jams at the Starry Plow. He's gonna do one at the Good Table on Saturday at 3. So if you like Irish music, come and bring your instruments. I mean, you literally, if you play the guitar, it only takes 3 chords, and it's usually D, G, and A. And occasionally E minor. If you've got a little bit of rhythm, you can play along. If you play a solo instrument, that's trickier, but you can play along or you can just listen. And afterwards, we're gonna encourage people to go drink Guinness beer across the street at the Copper Mug, or go down to PJ's, have a cocktail, because we don't serve liquor, but we will have music.
Can I say one other last thing, which is that Nicole has been announced as the Citizen of the Year for El Sobrante.
No.
But I thought it was, who was?
Jean.
Jean.
Oh, Jean did.
She's
Yeah.
the president.
And who was the car of the
Business.
business of the year?
Was Lyle's
Ziggy break.
Ziggy Miller's tire and brake.
Tire and break.
So
Tire break, wheel of break.
that was not
Retired.
information.
So I'm incredibly gratified that Gene Tapia is Citizen of the Year.
Yeah.
This guy
He's
does
worked his tail off.
so much for the stroller. And, you know, he never asks for any recognition. He always shows up. He's always cheerful. He's up for everything.
He's
You
a
know,
great guy.
Great guy. Just total roots in the community. All his kids went to De Anza. He's lived here forever. And
I had to ride in his truck.
it's like I'm over the moon. So happy.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the installation dinner.
It's January 24th. Yeah.
I'll be honest.
They're fun.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, everybody.
Third day.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, Jen.